Kenny, a couple of changes coming.
Yes.
Any hints?
I can give you plenty of hints. The obvious ones that are out are Butters and Dersma from injury, and the fans are here. It's good that the fans are back, isn't it? Yeah, the two boys who are injured out, and Laddams will go out of the side. Marshall will come into the side. Boyd Woodcock will come in, and Miles Bergman will come into the side. And then we'll obviously make a call on subs as we get close to that, which technically shows up an extra person go out or in. So,
Couple of travellers as well.
yeah, we'll probably take. Well, we'll take one. I think we'll take one traveller before we get to the airport. We'll probably take Marty Fredericks with us as a young player and give him an experience. He's been in really good form at Samford level, and if he had to have an opportunity to play, we'd be more than happy to get Marty into the side.
What sort of, in terms of the emergency sub or the medical sub, what sort of decisions do you need to make? Is it a late decision, mate?
Yeah, we always will. We'll just make sure that we get through the day, make sure everyone's in physically in good shape, because last week's game was a pretty tough game, so we just want to make sure everyone's okay, and once we get to there, we'll narrow our focus to who's the best and most suitable player for us.
How did Woodcock knock the door down?
Oh, he's been in great form. He's, to be fair, we've had some really good form from our high half forwards at AFL level, and the quality of those forwards is well known. And Boyd's he's probably been the best player in the sample for week on, week in, week out for the whole 5 or 6 weeks. To be fair to him.
Did Sam Mason just need a week in sample after coming on as the medical say?
Sorry, who was that?
Sam Mason.
No, as I said, we'll make that decision once we get closer to the game, and Sam will be on the plane with us today. So likelihood is that Sam will get an opportunity to play.
All those sore boys from last week, Kenny, the ones that are playing, what have you seen from them? Is there still any doubt over anyone?
No, there's no doubt. I mean, it's round 5. There's a few that will probably go in a little bit sore, but Carlton will have a few go in a little bit sore as well. So, but no, we wouldn't take someone and take the risk with someone if we thought there was a real significant risk.
So, Rose and Fantasia and Claus, have they
all on the plane?
Have they struggled this week, or has it been something that you've been pleased with how they've as planned?
No, I think they've recovered first, which is, if that's a word, struggle. That's what they've done. They've recovered first. They've got over some corkies, basically is what they had. Corkies, and Racho had a slight twist of his ankle, but they're all okay.
How did Zach and Xavier being injured affect the midfield mix-up? And Zach was kind of seeing some more midfield minutes. Did you put Connor in there on the weekend? Or? Yeah,
we'll mix and match a little. I mean, Zach was playing a little bit of midfield, but I mean, we've got a bloke called Robbie Gray who can go in there as well, so he's handy enough replacement for us. Connor Rosie can play in there as well. We know that, we've got plenty of opportunities for people who can go in there and play, but yeah, you miss some quality, and we're going to miss Zach, and we're going to miss Xavier, no doubt.
I think Xavier's out for about 3 months. Is Zach hopefully about 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think if we talk in weeks, we're probably 4 to 6 with Zach, and Xavier's probably 10 to 12. I think that's the way we've probably pretty much reported it, and we expect that to be the case.
I think, I just had a look. You haven't played MCG, I don't think, since July 2019. How excited are you and the group to get back to the place where footy's home?
Yeah, well, it's where everyone wants to play. I mean, we love playing Adelaide Oval, don't get me wrong, but the MCG, we know it's a famous ground. And it's an exciting ground to play football at, and our boys will be like everyone, getting the opportunity to go out there and play. We don't get that very often, so we look forward to it.
It's a big deal for a few boys that haven't been there before?
I don't know whether anyone hasn't been there before.
Lockie Jones might not have
Lockie might not have played there, but Miles, as a Victorian boy, he's probably seen it at some stage. Most of the boys have got enough information around the MCG. They just like to play there, though. And it's a big open ground. It's great for footy.
What do you make of the reaction to Lockie Jones' debut from the crowd, from like external public? Kind of seems like a cult hero already.
Yeah, he's got a following because he's got long hair. I'm going to try and grow mine, but I'm struggling at the moment. But he's got long hair and a moustache, and he looks like he's 26, but he's only really 19. So people love him because he plays tough and hard footy. That's why, and instantly, you're going to be a hit with the Port Adelaide people if that's the way you go about it.
He tells us that you're not a fan of the hair.
No, I love his hair. I think I've got this new strategy. The more I say it's great, the less likely he's going to want to keep it, because that means it mightn't be great. So.
He said, I think his quote was, even if I came here with short back and sides, Ken might have something to say about it.
Yeah, he's probably right. No, that's probably fair. But yeah, no, he's. I remember talking to his dad the night we drafted, and his dad said, "You got to get him to cut his hair." I said, "I've learnt really quickly that you don't mess with their hair, because they end up doing the opposite to you. So I'll stay out of the hair."
Ken, what does Pete Laddams have to do going back in the sample to win a place back in there?
Oh, look, Pete, to be fair, has just been a little bit out of form, and he knows that. What I love about him is he's been quite honest. He knows he's just struggling just to go back and have a game of football and play a little bit more ruck time, play a little bit more freedom. And AFL can be quite consuming with structure and stuff that you need to do. And I think for Pete, just to go back and relax for a little bit will be easy. He's a really good player. He's a really high quality player. He's got a great future, and it won't be the first or hopefully it's the last time, but it mightn't be that a young player has to keep learning his craft a little bit.
Is there a bit about the way that Carlton sort of rebound off the half back line with their runners that you take at all out of the mix, or I suppose you?
No, we're not really.
Back tight, you haven't.
Yeah, we brought a 197 centimetre bloke back in.
I
So.
suppose you'd say in a running race maybe he's got Laddams a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be close.
Okay.
It'd be close. Laddams is not slow, so it's not a speed thing with Pete. And that's why we like the fact that we can play three talls, because we think they're actually all quite mobile on the floor. So, but Pete's just out of form. Don't read too much more into it other than he's not getting a kick.
Pep's also in Sanford team. I mean, you must be a big step towards him, I guess, getting back to AFL level, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a continued path of what Pep's on, and that was 4 or 5 weeks ago we started on the path. And for us, it's around making sure Pep's in a great space and that he's physically, one, capable, two, he's now at another step, and that is to play football. And we look forward to him. I think he'll play pretty well. That's who he is.
Do you have an idea of when he might be pushing on the door for AFL selection again?
I'd say on Sunday morning. That's what I'd say, because I expect him to play really well at Sanford level. He's a good player. He's not, as long as he's in great space mentally and his health is good, he'll push really quickly. And we won't be reluctant to bring him back into the side. He's going to show us what he's got, and hopefully Saturday starts.
Are there any sort of physical or aerobic limitations that he faces given his 3-4 weeks of training?
No, he's really fit. He's really fit. He's in as good a shape as he can be, and it's not a hold back on anything. That's just going to play some footy, and that's and he's trained really well over the last 2 weeks. We expect that'll transfer into his game.
What about Rocky? He's a couple of weeks off. Is it just a matter of need running the legs from Tom?
Yeah, unfortunately, with what's happened now for Tom, he's missed a lot of footy. We initially the first couple of weeks as sub, then he plays in the Sanford, gets concussion, misses another couple of weeks, so he just needs to play some football. And a bit like Pep, I'm sure he'll play well at Sanford level, and then he'll be back in the mix for us.
He'd be bugging you.
Yeah, no, he's a pest of the best at times, so don't worry about just because he's not playing. He lives to be a pest, I think. But he's a pretty good person, Rock, and he's a very important part of our footy club, so we look forward to getting him back in the side at some stage.
How do you assess Carlton? Young obviously is heavy favourites. Their worst is pretty ordinary, but their good is good as well. Is this a danger game?
Yeah, I think every game's a danger game. I mean, I never approach any game where I think there's not some threats. And Carlton, I think Carlton's an emerging young side. I think they've got a lot of talent that's, at some point is going to break through consistently. At the moment, their battle is around that. We've been there, we've done that some part ourselves, but we know the quality of their side. I know, the way they play is really challenging. We've only got to look back to last year. It was a kick after the siren. So if we're at all confused about the quality we're coming up against, we shouldn't be. We'll just watch that last minute of football up there and know it took us right to the end and a little bit up past the end.
It's Trent McKenzie a bit unlucky got inside. When we had that kind of injury, I think before the community series game, then probably was a little bit behind the 8 ball. I mean, is that now he's just kind of doesn't have an opening again for the team? Yeah,
it's exactly what it is, and I said that to Trent. You've just got to remain patient and confident. And his footy he's playing in the last 3 weeks is more than ready to play AFL football, but we've got a really strong back half that have been playing really well with Jonas and Cleary and Alir coming in and filling a pretty important spot for us. So Trent will play AFL football very soon, but he'll have to wait for that opportunity. For us, we hope, silly to say, we hope the only chance he has to get in is through injury, because that means we're playing pretty good footy.
How do you reckon
Last couple guys.
How do you reckon you'd go with the new, you get time space you can take from kick-ins, given his super boost?
Everyone can take space, and Jonas can kick it just as far, but I'm sure Trent would like the opportunity. But again, I said before, he's in good form. He's not in the side because he's not playing well. He's playing well, but we're playing well.
And Sammy Hayes, he was brilliant last week. I mean, it's almost the same situation, isn't it? Because you got so many good big men, but he looks like he's nearly at that level now to play AFL.
Yeah, he's an impressive young ruckman. He's got a great future, but Scott Lycett's also doing his job really well. But Scott knows he's got to keep doing his job well, because Sam, he's playing really good Sanford football. But there's a difference between playing good Sanford football too, and also being ready and physically ready to cope. And I think Sam's in that conversation a little bit more than, look, he can play really good football at the level below, but they're bigger boys when you come up to the next level. So he'll get his opportunity at some stage.
Do you look to, I guess, maybe try and get him to add a forward role to his arsenal on kind of what Ladden's had to do?
Yeah, we look to do that with every one of our players, to give him a second option. And you know, rucks are a little bit different because he's 205 centimetres tall, so it's a bit harder to find another spot as much. But yes, he's got to have a forward craft that makes him effective for us.
Thanks, Kenny. I think I know how you answer it, Ken, but how would Zach Merritt look in Port Adelaide colours?
How do you think I'd answer that?
Probably don't really want to.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ken.